Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield-related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in a future episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below, or by sending me a YouTube message. So the first question for today comes in from user Buckstreaman, who asks, I was wondering what you think about the C4 sliding mechanic. I think it would be really cool, but I fear that people will just start spamming these. As we all know, C4 is way stronger than a grenade, so people could slide them in a room and blow enemies up without being in danger. So first off, if you're not aware of what he's talking about, basically in Battlefield 4, DICE is now making it so that you can slide C4 a short amount of distance. It's not very far, but if you are at the side of a road, if you see a tank rolling by, instead of just exposing yourself and running out in the middle of the street, you can throw them kind of at the ground and then they'll slide out in the middle of the road. And it's not a large distance by any means, but it will allow you to stay in cover, and then as the tank rolls by, you detonate the C4 and then you get the kill. And where Buckstreaman is concerned with is that if you are playing on a close quarter map, or you're playing in a map that has a lot of buildings, you can just throw these and slide them into areas that normally wouldn't be accessible, and then blow everyone to smithereens that's inside there. And I can see where that could get a little frustrating. But at the same time, there are strengths and weaknesses of using the grenade over the C4. The grenade has a longer range. There's different types of them. We now know that there's the incendiary grenade, there's going to be the frag round, and a flashbang. And the flashbang sounds just as devastating as throwing C4 on in there. You toss that on into an enemy room, they all get blinded for a couple of seconds, your squad rushes in to take everyone out with their primary weapons, and it's the same result or same conclusion at that point as if you just tried to toss C4 on in there and hoped that you took everyone out. I mean, sure, DICE is gonna have to go in and balance things here and there, but for me personally, it's kind of like a happy medium between what we have in Battlefield 3 and what we had in Bad Company 2, where in Bad Company 2, it was absolutely ridiculous. You could toss C4 up on two-story buildings, you could toss those things across the map, and in Battlefield 3, they're only really effective against enemy vehicles because you have to run directly on them. It plops down at your feet or maybe a foot in front of you, and then you have to run away to detonate it or you're going to die. And this is just going to allow you a little bit more wiggle room. It's going to allow you to take out infantry units in some situations. I don't think it's going to be as awesome as you might think it will. And also, just make it so you don't die all the time by running out in the open. So I'll be interested to see how they handle it, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as you're assuming it will. So the next question for today comes in from Metagaming, who asks, Hey Matimio, on your last video, you said that DICE had the capabilities of pushing wind through their map to make the world feel more alive and dynamic. Is this going to affect how you snipe or shoot at players because now you have to compensate for the wind? So a lot of you brought up this question, and it's a good one because now that they have the technology to do stuff like this and to push wind through a map, which is awesome, the next logical step is, well, is that going to affect gameplay significantly? And while it definitely would make things a lot more realistic, I don't see DICE doing this for Battlefield 4, and mainly because I just don't see it enhancing the gameplay or making it more fun. DICE has said that they do what they can to make things as realistic as possible, but not at the expense of making the game fun. They're not going to put mechanics in place that just, while would happen in the real world, wouldn't make it enjoyable. That's the reason why we have med packs. That's the reason why we have defibrillators. And if they did add the wind elements into the thing, it would really hurt the recon class. In Battlefield 3, it's already really hard to play as a sniper using the bolt-action rifles. You have to already compensate for bullet travel speed and bullet drop. And if you added wind on in there as well, it would be a headache. It would truly be a headache to get anything at a distance. And while you could say that engineers and all the other classes would still need to compensate and deal with the wind, it's not as bad for them because they have a lot more room for error. They are firing a lot more rounds. They don't need to be as precise, and they can kind of spray and pray a little bit more than as a recon. But a recon, using the bolt-action rifles, they need that precision, and just having one more variable in there would be very challenging, and I think it would just lead to a lot of headaches. And so it's for that very reason why I wouldn't expect this in the upcoming game. So the next question for today comes in from Gadget Capable, who asks, do you think that there should be a cover system, maybe like Rainbow Six, but a first-person shooter version of it? For example, Siege of Shanghai, a person runs through a building, sees an enemy squad, ducks into cover, and they get into an awesome firefight, but they can't see over his cover or around it and has to risk peeking his head up or peeking around to see where the enemy is. What are your thoughts? So the funny thing is that DICE is adding a cover system. It's not going to be as robust as those third-person shooters that you're probably accustomed to, but if you get behind a barrier, you're crouched on down, you kind of want to peek your head out, but instead of standing up like you normally would in Battlefield 3, all you have to do is hold or look through your weapon, you know, aim, and your soldier will automatically pop his head out, and now you have this great vantage point and this great defensive location over your enemy. They haven't gone into any details if you can lean in the game or if there's going to be any more to that cover system. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. But to quickly answer your question, yeah, there will be a cover system in Battlefield 4. But that is about it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.